the mitzvah of lighting the candle. So let's do it. I already have two. So first of all, we take out a match or something to make fire with, usually involving matches. Then we're gonna light it and say some blessings, as you may or may not see. I'm gonna have to put this down because it's hard to light a match and light candles with only half of a hand. But somehow it's good. Okay, first of all, we light this thing. But this is not the actual main candle. The main candle is this oil floating wick thingy. That is what actually makes the commandment happen. But we light it with this other candle called the shamish, which is the serving candle. I'm gonna see if it actually lights properly because this is kind of brutal. All right, here we go. Yeah, good enough for government work. We're gonna say the blessings. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvosav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner Chanukah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asa nisim la'avoseinu bayamim hahem bizman hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam zehechiyanu v'kimanu v'hikiyanu Lizman hazeh. All right, we're on the right track. Cool story. So yeah, basically, we just did it. So, congrats for watching, and maybe we'll continue when Moshiach comes. So, yeah, this is it. The miracle of light. It was the Greeks thousands of years ago waged a spiritual war on the Jewish people. It wasn't at first physical. It was mainly just the Greeks were trying to intellectually challenge the Creator with their so-called intelligence, and because of that, they had a lot of anti-Torah wisdom, a lot of secular wisdom that they were trying to use to get the Jews to forget about the Torah, because Torah is the real wisdom. And that's the idea of oil, which oil metaphorically represents wisdom for different reasons. And the Greeks said they defiled all of the oil in the sanctuary. The Greeks took over Jerusalem, and they put like a lot of Greek idols in the Jewish temple, and there was a bunch of oil that the Jews used to light the menorahs there every day before Hanukkah. And it was ideally supposed to be with very exact pure oil that never came into contact with anything at all. I mean, that's not good, like insects or carcasses, etc. But the Greeks took all the oil the Jews had, and they didn't destroy the oil, but they simply made it defiled, which is kind of brutal. And then, so when the Jews finally took over the temple again, they needed to continue lighting the menorah, which was a practice that was done every day since Moses' time, even before Hanukkah. But they didn't have any pure oil at first. Then they had the impure oil, which, according to the law, they could have technically used the non-pure oil, but they chose. First of all, they didn't want to. And then because of all the self-sacrifice they had in keeping the Creator's commandments and standing steadfast in the war against the Greeks, which is essentially them going beyond their own nature, then the Creator went beyond his nature, so to speak, and he made the miracle of, first of all, they found a very ideal flask of oil that was not defiled. It was still sealed with the seal of the high priest, which was a very big deal, which means that it was very legitimate. It was not defiled because it was very authoritative. The high priest, sealed it. So that was the first miracle, that they found any oil at all. And the second miracle, when they lit it, they thought it would only be lit for one night until that. But then after that one night, since it would take them 8 days to go get new oil, they would have to use the impure oil. They thought, but no, the same pure oil lasted for 8 days. So it represents Hanukkah as a spiritual victory. Besides for the fact that they won the physical war the day before, when we celebrate Hanukkah, but the main idea of Hanukkah is spiritual salvation. The Greeks tried to make the Jews forget the Torah through their impure intellect, which is the idea of the impure oil. But the Jews, through being successful, realized that the Creator is found in everything, and that the Torah is the true intellect, is the true wisdom, and Torah is a light, and a mitzvah, a commandment, is a candle. So through the Torah and the mitzvahs, we could shine up the whole universe. Why only 2 candles? Someone said in the comments. That is a very interesting, multifaceted question. It's a question that has pondered generations. Essentially, first of all, there's really only one main oil-based candle, which is this one. This other candle is actually meant to be what's called the serving candle, which is a candle that's used to light other candles. So the law is, in the Talmud, that eventually one should light all 8 candles plus the serving candle, but one should start out lighting one candle at a time, with one side in the Talmud saying that the first night you light 1 candle, the second night you light 2 candles, and the third night 3, until the 8th night you light 8 plus the serving candle. Although a different side holds that the first night it should be better to light all 8 candles, and the second night you light one less because you don't need as much light. And then the third night, it's like you already had so much light in the beginning, so you don't need so much more, so you light only 6, etc. But the opinion that we follow nowadays is the other opinion of the House of Hillel, which says that we first start out a little bit and we keep on adding more holiness every day. Although it says when Moshiach comes, it's debatable if we're going to switch the practice or not. Anyway, the technical law is really, it says the obligation is just to light 1 candle, even on all 8 days of Hanukkah. It says one only has to light 1 candle. But the idea of lighting more than 1 candle, it says in the Talmud and commentaries, is actually considered way beyond the letter of the law. But that's what Hanukkah is all about, going beyond the letter of the law, going beyond our own nature, because that's what the original Hanukkah was about. Because when the Greeks defiled the oil in the temple, the Jews could have used impure oil if they wanted to, but they chose to go beyond the letter of the law in order to. They only wanted to use pure oil, even though they didn't really have to, and that's why the miracle happened, because they went beyond their own nature. Yes. Anyway, thanks for joining, guys. Maybe we'll continue later when Moshiach comes and do our before.